So the civil suit in the Trump University case has taken a dramatic turn this week, with Donald Trump accusing the judge, Gonzalo Curiel, of being partial in the case and having a bias against Trump because of his Mexican heritage. And I got to say that under perfect circumstances in a perfect world, you don't question somebody's ethnicity, their background, their religion, their color, or anything else when it comes to a civil trial or a civil case, unless it actually does call into question that person's partiality. Because believe it or not, Donald Trump is entitled to a civil suit that is going to be presided over by an impartial judge. Now, this man is of Mexican descent. He almost certainly has personal opinions regarding Donald Trump as a man, Donald Trump as a presidential candidate, and Donald Trump's policies that he's been pushing, particularly in reference to immigration towards Mexico, building a wall, making Mexico pay for it. I'm sure he must have opinions on that matter. And if those opinions cloud his decision-making process, to be impartial in this case, he has to recuse himself. He shouldn't have been appointed the judge in the first place in this case. It's also rumored that this guy has membership in La Raza. And for those of you who don't know, La Raza in English means the race. So, you don't need me to tell you that if there was a white group called the race, we all know how people would respond to it. But Latinos get a pass with that. It's okay if they have an organization that touts Latino pride and they call it La Raza, the race. Even though it really is an anti-American organization, a lot of anti-white sentiment in La Raza. And if this man is a member of it, he really has to step aside in this case. He really has tainted the entire case. Donald Trump is not only entitled to impartiality, but he's also entitled to the appearance of impartiality throughout the trial. If there's even a hint of a drop of a hint that the judge has a personal opinion one way or another, it's wrong, and he shouldn't be presiding over it. Former Attorney General, who is of Latino descent, actually agreed with Donald Trump that he has a right to question this. I'd also like to add that I saw in the news today that the GOP is telling Trump, stop insulting Latinos. The GOP, the hierarchy and the rank and file and all the people who run the organization, you got to come back to reality here and understand that kowtowing to Latinos is not going to make them Republicans. Remember, Ronald Reagan was a Republican. Ronald Reagan created the amnesty program in the 80s. They have nobody to thank but Ronald Reagan for every single person who gained amnesty back in the mid-1980s. Now, that wasn't a good enough reason to get a mass conversion of Latinos from Democrat to Republican. I don't know what is. But we were not the beneficiaries of the goodwill that we should have been from that amnesty. And if that didn't make them Republicans, nothing will. Kissing their ass is not going to change anything. I agree, you don't want to openly disparage anybody for no good reason. But the points that Trump has been raising have been valid points. We are getting a lot of drugs from Latin America. We are getting a lot of gang members from Latin America. We're getting a lot of money laundering through Latin America. We have a border that holds people back as effectively as a spaghetti strainer holds water back. It is probably one of the most open borders in the country, in the world rather, and it's not racist to raise these issues. And it's not racist for Donald Trump to question the judge's partiality in this case and to insist that somebody be appointed to this case who clearly doesn't have issues or even the appearance of issues with Donald Trump. This is a case that never should have gone as far as it has gone. It shouldn't have gone to trial. It should have been dismissed on summary decision a long time ago. The basis of this whole trial is a bunch of students went to a very expensive school and weren't happy because they didn't come out of it rich. That's really the gist of it. If we're going to hold Trump University responsible because they had pushy, aggressive salespeople, then every single school in America has to be held responsible for having pushy, aggressive salespeople. All salespeople, whether they're selling tuition to a school or selling, vacuum cleaners, they're going to be pushy because that's what salespeople do. That's how they earn their living. They don't make money if they don't sell. Okay? And Trump University is not an aberration. A lot of schools employ pushy salespeople to try and sell tuition and to try and get students into the school. It's not a shocker. Shouldn't be, at least. This is all politically motivated. This was brought by Eric Schneiderman against Donald Trump because he wanted a nice big fat turkey and that he could shoot and a nice trophy head to hang on his wall on his way to a bigger and better office. He's not going to stay Attorney General forever. And the class action in and of itself should have been dismissed because on its premise, it's just purely ridiculous. They didn't guarantee you that you would become rich if you took this course. What school in America, what school anywhere can guarantee you success? Can guarantee you that you'll spend $35,000 on tuition and you'll come out of it a millionaire? It's on you when you go to school. You got to research the school. You got to make an educated decision where you're going to take classes, and you got to determine how it's going to help you and benefit you when you complete those classes, and you got to apply yourself when you're in school. If any of those bullet points are not hit, it's a recipe for failure, and it's on you, the student. It's not the school's fault that you failed. This is something that should have been dismissed a long time ago, and it's only ongoing because it is a presidential season and Donald Trump is running. There are purely political motivations for this trial to continue, and it's big news. They love to talk about it. It's amazing if they had put in just a fraction of the effort into discussing Hillary Clinton's failings in Benghazi to what they're applying to Donald Trump's Trump University fiasco. Maybe she'd be in jail by now. By comparison, if you take everything that the Clintons have done from Whitewater to Benghazi and you spread them all out on a table and you look at all the people that they've hurt and all the wrongs that they've done and all the crimes that they've committed, both of them should have been in jail a long time ago. And comparing that Trump University to that, or even putting Trump University ahead of that as a topic of discussion, is really a miscarriage of justice. It's just disgusting that this is actually being used as a manner and a method to try and hurt Donald Trump. When really, this is just pure bullshit, and it never should have happened this way. The suits never should have been brought forth. They should have been rejected by the court. They should have been dismissed on summary judgment. And I would hope that this judge would have enough common sense to just do the right thing and step aside and let another judge preside over this.